Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back with our author, our life coach, our leader, and friend, Ingrid Essawova, joining us here from simplytrue.com. Pleasure to have you back. How are you?
Nice to be back. Thank you so much, Jill.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for understanding for today. Let me ask you a little bit about yourself so our new audience, new listeners today can get to know you before we begin today's topic.
My pleasure. Absolutely. So again, my name is Ingrid Essawova Frisbee. My company is Simply True. I am based out of Phoenix, Arizona, but I am global. And my being a spiritual life recovery coach and intuitive, my purpose in life, there is a purpose after all, good God, is to connect people with themselves so they feel joy, peace, unconditional love. Because if you're disconnected with yourself, you feel fear, doubt, frustration, pain. We know what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. You are changing so many lives, really, by helping people day in and day out, by changing their attitude, their outlook, their everything. And you're helping me. You've been talking to me the past few weeks, and I appreciate it because I'm feeling a lot different and I'm attracting amazing things. I've upped my energy level. We've talked about this, Scott is not there.
Yes, he is. I'm
I
blessed
remember
that
Scott. He's
always
amazing.
listens.
And so I envy the love you have, and in a good way, because I know that type of true love is there for me one day soon. So I look up to you both. So thank you. What did you want to talk about today? Because I'm excited just to see your beautiful face and to feel your energy again. Thank you.
Sounds good. Absolutely. Again, my pleasure, Jill. Well, we can talk about truth or we can talk about boundaries and standards. Which one vibrates
You're the
more?
intuitive. What's feeling for you? Come on.
Oh, well, right.
Go
Let's
for
talk
it.
about truth.
Okay.
Let's talk about truth in life. I don't think we've talked about truth in any of the episodes, have we?
Simply true. No, I'm just making a joke. But I don't think we have either. That's simply
So,
true. Yes.
you said simply true, and that's the whole thing. Truth is practically everything. No, practically. Well, love is as well in spirituality, of course, but truth is really where it's at because truth is like an umbrella. And with under the umbrella, there's so many different facets.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny, my son at the time, I think he was 18 years old, and I was just coming from a walk, and he looks flustered. And I'm like, what's wrong? And he says, I don't get it. I'm like, okay, what don't you get? He's like, why does everybody lie? I'm like, oh, that's very interesting that you noticed that at 18 years old. I didn't really realize that until I got into my 40s.
Good
And I
one.
said, honey, people lie because others give permission to,
Mm-hmm.
because it is a way of life. It is a silent secret behind the scenes navigation that I believe has been around for a very long time. It's a matter of awareness. And he
Mm-hmm.
says, I don't get it because it's as if the truth will actually be better off if they told the truth instead of lying. And I said, also remember when one doesn't tell the truth as a repeated pattern of behavior, it starts to be a form of conditioning, a form of programming, and therefore it's a habit. So it comes out of the mouth so naturally. Sometimes people go to themselves, wait, damn. Whoops, am I allowed to say that?
Yes,
So,
you can. You're
very good.
right.
And realizing that whatever we choose, how we navigate, how we speak, what we think, what we say, becomes that programming, becomes that conditioning, whatever it is. Because remember, our brain has no bias. It just it goes this particular flavor and color, and it
Uh-huh.
goes like that. So why is truth so important, and why would we even choose it as a topic? Again, we're here on earth in order to have awareness, and there's truth is kind of like two forks in the road. What do you think, Jill, is the average, just average, that on a daily basis when people speak to one another, how often what's the percentage of truth do you think that
Uh,
they speak?
maybe like 60, no, maybe 40% truth, 60% lie.
40? The most popular one with my clients, and again, I have interesting different clients, they usually go into the 80, but let's go to the 40, the 60, the 80%. I think you're
Okay.
right on. And how ironic is this? If I would ask you, Jill, do you want to be in any type of connection or relationship with anyone, like girlfriend, guy friend, colleague, associate, anyone? And are you okay that you only get 40, 50, 60% truth? You're okay with that, right?
I never thought of it that way. Wow.
You're like, no, I
Yeah,
want
but
100% truth. I don't want to be in any type of connection or a relationship or a friendship,
I wouldn't.
whatever,
But now I guess I
because
really don't know who's deceiving me, who's not, if they're really perpetual liars. But so I don't even know who are my truths around me.
correct.
Yeah,
But the thing is, the very thing that you would absolutely probably say that it's a deal breaker,
yeah.
but
It is.
we ourselves are in this place of navigation where we just say, and I'm not talking about big things. I'm not talking about gigantic lies. I'm just talking, which is also included, by the way, but I'm talking about just the little things
Hey, hey, I'm
because
on.
we,
Hey, I'm on the phone. I used to get that all the time. Hey, I'm on the phone with a client. You're not on the phone with a client.
the
Why are you
client,
lying?
we're just watching a
When
report.
when you beep in, why are you lying and saying you're on the phone with a client when you're not on the phone with the client? Like you're on the phone with your mom. But like it's just even a little thing like that. Just say you're on the phone with your mom. Like not. But that's
Or let me talk to you later.
mhm, without
Just
any
that.
explanation. Yeah, without
Right.
any lie
Why do
or
we have to
truth.
always over explain stuff? And yeah, like my
Guilty.
son said,
Guilty.
why do we do those little things? Why? People mostly say because they want to embellish. They don't want to hurt people's feelings, right? You would kind of
And
think
I think
that's
some
kind of the
people want to
norm.
make themselves look better. Some people I think are very insecure and lie because of their own insecurities. Do you find that to be true a lot? I
100%.
think I think we all lie
100%.
sometimes because we're insecure about things. I could
100%.
I'm
I think that the reason 50% of it, I think, is because of that insecure. And well, maybe it isn't a 50. Maybe there's a third. Maybe a third of it is because of the insecurity, which is probably the overall thing. You're absolutely right
hmm
on. The other part is you really don't give a damn because you really don't think it's a big deal.
yeah,
And another part is you don't know any other way.
yeah.
And the thing is that, we think that we don't want to hurt people's feelings, but that's a lie all on its own. Do
Wow.
you know it's not about hurting people's feelings? It's about you don't want to
Want
be
to be
judged. You don't want to be judged by the other person. You don't want to judge yourself. Like,
uh-huh.
oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Like, that was mean. Like, what was I thinking? Oh, you don't want to judge yourself. You don't want to be judged by the other, and you also want to belong.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we don't want
true.
to be rejected. We're a species that if we get rejected all the way from the animal kingdom all the way to the human, rejection
It
is
is.
something that is just not a fit. We need to
Oh.
be together. Look at in 2020 with the pandemic, we were apart. Well, in some parts we were together, in some parts we were apart, and we didn't do well.
hmm
So isn't that even interesting all in its own?
It is.
So when we don't, let's take it to the next step. Um, you know what's amazing? What the universe gives us 24 hours a day to all 7.5 billion of us. I hope I got the right data. Um, no matter who you are, what you think, the universe gives us something all the time. When you're balanced and you're aligned, in that moment, you are operating in a level of truth, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically.
Gosh.
The moment you're not balanced, like mentally or emotionally or physically, something is off and there is a level of truth missing. Let's just take basic physical, okay? When you're suddenly feeling a sore throat or you're having a headache or you're starting to get chills, right? There is either something that's too much in your body or there is something that's missing in your body, right?
Lacking. Yep.
Okay, so therefore, we're starting to feel the symptoms. Therefore, you're not balanced, right?
Yep.
If you talk to a person and logically they look really great, they're smiling at you, they're being nice to you, but there's something about them that you just like, mm-mm. There is something about this person I just don't, no, 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 and I can't put my finger on it. That's energetic because there is some level of untruth that you are being projected with.
Yeah.
If you're in a relationship that you guys are not a match, when you're away and you're grocery shopping and you're pretty okay, and then you come back home and now you're starting to feel the physical effects, you're starting to feel the emotional effects, you're starting to feel the mental and the energetic, right? If you eat something that is not a vibrational match with you, what does your stomach do?
Growls and gets upset and he gets sick.
Because
Yeah.
it's
And you
not
feel
a
nauseous.
fit. It's not balance.
Wow.
So how many times a day are we off balance in one way or another? How many times in the day is truth not 100% present? So this is, and look, this is free. We get this free. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what other gauge the universe. Swallowed my own spit. Very good.
Happens. Go for it. We got it. We got this.
I have to breathe and I have to swallow at the same time.
And talk and be on camera and
talk
and fix our hair and take a sip of water. Yeah. We got it. We got it.
All right, we got this. So therefore, I'm hot. Anyway, you see, there's an imbalance.
Flashes now, yes.
So therefore, what do? What do? We get in balance. We are now in the know. Okay, now we know differently. We have patience with ourselves. We have grace with ourselves. And we put ourselves in an environment that we know is balancing. We start to put our boundaries, our standards, and our policies of our do's and our don'ts, the conversations we're going to be in, the conversations we're not going to be in, the people that we're going to be with, the people we're not going to be with, maybe the amount of time that we're going to be with those people, what the conversations are going to be and whatnot, right? What food we're going to eat, what time we're going to go to bed, when we get up, what's our routine. You start creating your boundaries, your standards, and your policies so you are a match at all times. And then you go, well, Ingrid, life is not always all night. You got the kids, they're screaming, they're doing this. Yes, but you chose to be in that package. You chose to have kids. So there is a level of taking accountability. So these are the kids, and that's temporary. Not that the kids are temporary, but the situation that you're in at that age is temporary.
Yes.
One day they will leave. One day you will not be in that situation. And you peel back your boundaries and your standards, and you're like, no, homework is going to be from this time to this time, plays at this time, this is what's happening. And again, you can do your boundaries and standards and still take care of yourself with that. So again, what was the topic today?
It was truth, and then boundaries are now falling into place too. So
correct.
Maybe we could do both.
So
it kind of goes hand in hand.
Right. So if it does go hand in hand, it's a nice package. If we are in truth, we truly don't have to think of what we said to this person, to that person, keep up with which lie. That's a lot of work. And the thing is, what is the core is the fact that we want to belong. But do you understand that if you are in a match, you attract what you are? So if you're constantly not in truth, you're going to attract what you are. You're going to attract the situations. So get out of those situations and start attracting what you desire, and not have a fear of being alone, because that's nonsense. Because you're only alone because you're disconnected with yourself. So come join, listen, Jill and I when we talk about these things, and you'll never be alone. And
It's true. Ingrid Essawova Frisbee, simplytrue.com. Good plug. Good.
there you go. So, and then that's a whole different vibration. And what do you think that that does for your physical, by the way? You know, when you have to be with someone all the time that you are choosing to, and it's not a match, how does your chest feel? You know, how does your stomach, how does your back, how does your shoulders feel?
Okay.
If you're constantly in an environment or in an energy that is, you know, not healthy for you. Now, I said that there's two forks in the road. So what is the other one? The other one is, here you are telling 100% truth. You're all in your thing. And then you go home to a toxic relationship. Ugh. That's also not in truth. You're also not living in truth. And you know where that resonates? Your physical. Your physical. So yeah, I remember there was a time when someone brought to my attention that even though they see me only one time a year, that every time they see me, I'm always have a major injury. And I'm like, oh my God, you're so right. And I know exactly why. And I got out of that. And I haven't had any injuries like that since. And no, I do not need to knock on wood because I'm not suspicious. I'm not
And
superstitious.
yeah.
I'm not suspicious either.
Like suspicious.
So then is probably our vocabulary. What do we say to someone that is kind, that is firm, that is clear? Do we need to adapt an additional vocabulary? Some of the things that I use quite often is, thank you, it's just not a match for me, or it's just not a fit. That I use quite a bit, or we're just not a fit. We're just not a match. Why do I use that? You're not insulting anyone. It's the truth. It's really the core, if you really think of it. You don't have to over explain. You're not judging anyone. And how can anybody get really mad at you?
True.
Right? It's just not a match. Whether it's spending, helping someone all day, doing something or going somewhere, or you're going to say, thank you, but I'll pass on that. Or, hey, let me think about it. Let me reflect on that. I'll get back to you by noon. Or, what were you doing? Oh, I was talking to a client, right? Like you were saying. Let's say, you know what? Give me half an hour. I'll call you back. Well, what are you doing? Just got some things to do. But I'll call you back. Well, what kind of things are you doing? I don't think it'll get that far. But if you do, is to say, hey, I got some things to take care of that I needed to take care of for myself. I'll call you back. Okay. At this point, if you ask another question, I'm not going to call you back ever.
Click.
I don't think it goes back that deep.
Oh, but no, there's some possessive people. I had an ex-boyfriend that was like that. And hence I got rid of him. Very jealous, possessive, and everything. I had a 3 and a 5-year-old. Like, what am I doing? Like, what? You went out for 4 hours. You didn't call. I went to my girlfriend's house with my kids. We went to a charity event. Like, questions. And that, anyway, toxic.
And those are clues right there.
Oh, yeah.
That it's not a match.
Not a match.
How did the stomach feel? When
horrible,
that happened, right?
Horrible. But to the point where I'm so crazy, I had to videotape what he was saying with the other phone, because I'm like, this is 2 months into a relationship and this is how he's acting now. Did I stay with him another year? Should I not have? But did I? And then did I finally lay the law down and say, this is not working? It took me a long time, but I did it.
You did it.
I did it.
Exactly. Because the truth of it is that was not a balance for you.
No.
Not at all, and not a match. So I think overall it's about rejection, people feeling rejected if they don't tell the truth, because the truth many times is not the prettiest thing. Truth can feel, it's a rejection. It's a rejection on many levels, you know?
Hmm.
Um, but the thing is that we don't know how to handle the truth also. Like, we're a society, we can't handle the truth. Jack Nicholson did have a point. We can't handle the truth. We don't know how to navigate. We don't know how to live because we're not used to the truth. We're used to it going to a different shades, looks like a different color. We put band-aids on it. So the person that is projecting um, is afraid of the reaction.
Hmm.
You're trying to cushion everything in life.
Yeah.
And then if there comes a time that you can't cushion anymore,
Wow.
when you can't cushion, the other person has a meltdown, a fit,
Yeah.
because we don't know. But the thing is, do you realize we're enabling?
Totally.
By
Yeah.
not being in truth, we are enabling. Let's
Enabling.
take your
Hmm.
situation,
Sure.
Jill. There's no
Please go for it.
judgment here. There is only awareness,
Yes.
awareness of the situation for what I'm about to speak about. Okay. There's
Sure.
no judgment.
Okay.
Blessings to you, my dear. You did the best that you could at the time that you did, but at when you did, when I'm sure that you um confronted about, hey, there's too many questions. Do you not believe where I am? Do you not trust me? Like, we're adults, that type of thing. Those things came up. So it's not that you didn't address it.
No, I head on addressed it. And
You head on addressed it, but you didn't have a plan in place. You
no,
didn't have a
my mom
policy.
just died. I thought I found someone. I have two little kids. I'm scrambling for work.
Correct.
It was just convenient and it gave me someone to love and to feel loved and do some fun things with. And I knew it was wrong, but I had good times in it. So I would kept him around for the wrong reasons because
Correct. And yes, because you felt
I felt alone. I felt lonely and I felt like I needed something that was going to cheer me up every now and then. And it was him. At times it was cheerful, but other times it wasn't. So my own fault for allowing that type of person in. And better story, Ingrid. Then I let the next one in for 2 years who just recently ended. And the first thing I told him, my truth, I do not have much time to date anyone. I have first, then my two boys. So if you want to be number four, I'm just warning you now, I don't have much time. And when that person says, I understand, I get it, don't worry, I'm the guy for you, I understand this. And then as the months went by, whoo, you have no time for me. I don't. There's no time for sex. There's no time for sleeping in my bed. I sleep with my boys. These are all things I told you day one, and now you still have a problem with it over and over again. That's never going to change. It's either I give up my kids or give up my job to make more time, and neither of those two things are happening. So guess what? I told you since day one, I didn't have the time. If you want to date someone, I wouldn't date someone who wants to put me number four. And I said it just that way and honest, but I still let him in thinking he really would understand. And then he didn't. And then again, yeah, but again, I'm just rambling, but yeah, I get it.
no rambling,
And
just
now,
information.
and now here I am. And then just another random story. Then he gives me an engagement. He met someone else that's a better fit who had more time. And then I said, okay, I cried. I was upset. And then I took him back a month later. He gave me an engagement ring and he told me like, oh, I'm going to buy the ring that you want. I said, well, I really want the 5 carat if you can't afford it. But oh no, he got the 5 carat only to find out he lied, told me it was a certain amount of money. It's not about money, but he said, oh, you have $100,000 ring. I'm like, that's a lot of money. Okay, thank you. But then I found out it was a lab grown diamond that he paid $20,000 for. Lies, 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 lies. Anyway, I'm done with liars and I'm on a positive path to be my honest self and attracting the next one, which I think I already did, which is bizarre in a few weeks, but it's possible. And I believe in it. You're a 7 weeks marriage, right? Right?
Oh, you remember that, didn't you?
I like you guys a lot. I'm really, and like it's possible to find that person and that love and that. And again, I'm being truthful with my relationship and who I am and what I'm about. And I'm ready to be alone. I was. And then all of a sudden someone comes in who maybe I am now, have this amazing positive energy, like this time, now this, and then
Wonderful.
I don't know. We'll see. But that's another
That is
episode.
wonderful.
But continue. So we were talking about truth, boundaries, and I just,
So
oh my
overall,
God,
we have to make sure we know our why we are doing things from that first relationship you told us all the way to this one, putting messages forth that are clear. People always know where they stand with me at all times because the messages I give, physically, verbally,
honest, concise,
everything is always very clear, so they can make healthy decisions on their own and not be deceived through the front door or the back door. So you have to know yourself in terms of your whys, so you can be clear, because other people do deserve to have the truth. So they
I
have an
believe in the truth.
opportunity.
And sometimes
to
I've been told I've been too
learn.
honest, too true. And I'm like, is there
No,
really such
there's
thing?
no such
You're
thing.
too honest. That my sister
Would
says.
you-
I'm like, I can't. I'm not.
Right.
What's
And
his name?
again,
George Washington. I cannot tell a lie. I've lied. I've told lies. I tell lies. But I really try to be honest most of my life and most of my
and if
days.
somebody ever says that, go, oh, do you prefer to be lied
to? That's the way to look at it.
Like, truly, do you wish to be lied to? And just because you can't handle the truth, that is your side of the street, not my side of the street.
Yeah.
But my side of the street is also, your delivery to be clear, to be firm, to be accurate. And you have choice of words of how that comes out. You don't have to, curse and yell.
And
you don't have to do all that, right?
As
You
our
just
expert,
lay
you're
it in.
telling us today about the truth. The truth is the best recipe, the solution. You need to be true.
Hence, you are. So now you have this possible new person just in a few weeks, because you changed just over the few, not just with our conversations, but with your mindset started to, the wheels started turning.
Yes.
And you started to make different decisions.
Yeah.
And also everyone that says, I'm perfectly fine being with myself, that is when they find their person.
Yeah.
But it has to be authentic.
That way. I was just
feeling to be with myself.
I really was feeling that way. And I just hope people get out of this today what I'm getting out of this, which is just amazing. That tell the truth. Simplytrue.com. Be true. And that can only lead you to the happiness path that we all deserve, right? Is that a good way to summarize today? Yeah.
On all levels.
Time. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yes.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah. You're so good. Tell us how we can reach out to you to work with you, please.
Very simply, just go to simplytrue.com, simplytrue.com, simplytrue.com. No, there's not an error. Simplytrue.com.
And your book.
And my book, you go on Amazon, it's Emotional Dictionary to the Soulful Self. Can you imagine a dictionary for your emotions? Where was this when you were in high school? Okay, very good. So again, I'm Ingrid, and feel free to reach out to me at simplytrue.com.
And I mean that. I love you. You are just the person I love. Am I allowed to say that? I love you.
Of course you are. Blessings. Thank you, Jill.
Blessings. Thank you.
Until next week.
Awesome.
And maybe then we'll do boundaries and standards. And
beautiful. Great show. Always. Thank you so much, Ingrid.
Bye.
Back to you. Bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcasts on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.